Alright, we should be live by now. Hey there, everyone. This is a game I played over the weekend. I just wanted to cast this particular game. It was one of those games where just like really everything worked really well, and it was actually it was a game with five of the people in the game were all in the clan, so they're all people who played this game extensively, and it was a good game. I wanted to cast it. See if I can teach any new players some lessons here. I've seen some people asking, so I was like, I should try to start making helpful videos again instead of what I've been making. We really update the loading screen. We just put a Spartan model there or something, or like a selection of all the custom models, something like that. Kind of cool. Okay, so this game, we have Hemig of the Navy, Will as Oni, me as Artemis, me as the elite. Those last one joined Sugar Daddy and Krono here and there as my teammates. So Hemig starting out here, loading hidden production here in the bottom right corner. They do that because they want to prevent being just dropped in the first 2 minutes by elites and losing all the production. So they build hidden production, which is still kind of a loss. Will here looks like he's going for Goshawks. He's getting up the factories. Benjamin here, he's making some SCVs. I can't remember. I think he might have played a few games. No, maybe not. It looks like he's taking a look around, getting a feel for things, starting on Reach, because it's Reach. So he's figuring it out. He sees Harvest. Maybe people are telling him that. Yeah, he's adapted here. Alright. There's Krono. Looks like he made some stealth corvettes. Here's Sugar Daddy getting out some jackals there. Cool. And looks like he's going for a bile build. Yeah, I know he's going all jackals here to start. I do like how they kind of hop, but it does look kind of fun too. Okay, so we're swinging over here. Let's take a look here. And yeah, they're able to grab this pretty well. It looks like the players are still figuring things out. I'm over here grabbing out some... so with the new income update, you can afford to produce a lot off of a lot more gateways. Now, you can't make it, a ton of like honor guards out of this, right? You'd only use like maybe the 8 for the honor guards, but you could afford to produce, or less than that, but more than normally you do. But you can produce off a lot more gateways now. And that's really important if you want to make sure you're using your money effectively, because you don't want to be floating too much money unless you're looking to get upgrades. So it's important to, if you have to, you can dump all your economy into that. And that's more of an elite thing. You have to do the same with all of them, but Spartans, since you're going to usually Spartan 2s, unless you're going for like ODSTs or something, you don't need that many. Now this was exceptional. So yeah, I was coming to Earth because I knew Hemig liked to build on Earth, and I thought he was going to build over here because I knew the player. But turns out Krono scanned right on top, so I adjusted where I was dropping immediately because I was over. I was like, wait a minute, I see the block there. I knew that I had a man Hemig because red hidden production, so I checked it, so I dropped here instead. It canceled half and took out the rest. But that was just a stellar. Krono there with that scan was stellar. Like I was going to drop up here in the top corner, or the top where Hemig usually builds. And here with that drop there, I was able to pick off the single thing. So these are all Spartan 3s, it looks like, with Goshawk, which is an old meta. It was popular for a while when Spartan 3s had the ARs. But right here, we were able to pick that off. Good reaction here by Hemig. Now, that means he must have opened with that on Reach, because he came up here with all his Prowlers and just picked off that. That was wonderful. Great decision. Like, he opened with Prowlers and then built his production. Like, that was a really good, strong opening, and he was able to take care of that kind of stuff. So, if you notice there on the mini-map, so I'm checking this out, I'm like, okay, we're going to hit. But if you notice there, yeah, right here on the mini-map, Krono was coming over here with a bunch of Prowlers. Awesome move. So he was ready for that. And I think he played super well there. So he had made his stealth corvettes, right? To scan, but he brought them over when he saw it been picked off, and then he gave me two of his, so that I could keep being mobile. So that's a wonderful the way he's supporting there. Couldn't have asked for better. Like in the first 5 minutes, we've already had we've had a major pick on the naval production. A bunch of other things here. Now I'm probably going to lose. Oh, look, and then he's right back, too. Look at that. he went up into orbit, and so he's coming over here trying to wheels, trying to get it, and he jumped in and got it again. So the real MVP of this game is Krono. Just throwing it out there. He's the MVP of this game because he got the money scans down to know where the production was in the Navy, and he kept getting picks there, denying the mobility of the other team, allowing the elites to get some damage done here. Meanwhile, if we switch over here to Harvest, let's jump on this one. So it looks like we're going to pretty much a straight ODST strategy, which was great when ODSTs had Biofilm. They were so tanky because they could heal themselves, and in addition to being a strong ODST unit. And this is when I started to follow here. So he's checking me out, but I was doing the same thing. This is the first fight. And we see here, I don't know if he was scanning. I think he was scanning. I scanned and I saw he was leading. And so the Brutes here jumps in on the opportunity here with just Hunter Jackal. And that's a build I haven't seen really in a long time. But it's effective. The Hunters are taking out all these buildings, the Jackal, and they're tanking for the Jackals to try to deal the damage. But you see here, since the Hunters don't attack, snipers are just picking them all off. And then the ODSTs are able to rip through here in the back. And that's... It's a unique combination because ODSTs were perfect. This particular person diamond, so he had micro there. But that combination of ODSTs are ideal for just ripping through, this front number bio there. Now he's running into a meat grinder here, and that's unfortunate. But he's trying to take the damage, and I think he could pick him off here. But Watchtower's a little stronger than you think, so he's figuring that out. But still, good trade there. Meanwhile, I dropped here on. I said, okay. I think I picked an outpost and I left because I didn't want to. I knew they knew I was there, so I was like, go somewhere else. These Goshawks are going to do. You see, they're not the most effective, especially with some fuel rods there, because fuel rods do damage against, and they do also do area damage, so against like armor vehicles. So it did pretty well there. Granted, he won that fight and he traded well, but I felt like, it wasn't just a complete slaughter like maybe with some shotguns or something. Trying to retake the ground way we had made there. I'm in orbit, and I figured since those two were so damaged, I could win that fight easy because I could one-shot that. Now with the swords right on top of them, you see how clean and easy that was cleaned up. That's the reason against. Don't be using Goshawks aren't. Some limitations. Let's say that's a limitation to the meta, to the build of using Goshawks. They definitely can be cleaned up by things like dancing elites, by things with swords there. So Hemming's got some cruisers here. That's actually going to be a really bad pick. And I think he's waiting for me too. Yeah, he's scanning there. So he scanned me. I'm like, okay, I got to go because there's going to be a drop coming, which is a mistake. And I'm even waiting here. Did I cloak? No, see, I do cloak, but he's scanning, so he gets the pick off, and he does a second scan too. So he keeps it there, and he comes back to this one. So if I kept him landed, could have picked all that off, no worries. But I lost it, and that's costly, because that was not only was a bunch of units, it was a bunch of really good units. So I should have left it down. I don't know what he's talking about there. I could back it up and see, but... Oh, look at that, Army kind of responded there with something there. I think he did that to take some points. Oh, he even has some Scorpions here on Earth. But he never built factory production here on Harvest. I'm a little sad about that. He definitely has a good feel for that. So this is another interesting build I saw here. He ran in here with a group of ODC. This is expensive. These are 50 each, right? But he's doing a fair amount of damage, and he's forcing a response here. But as it is, these shade turrets, they do very well against that kind of thing. If he had maybe some rockets in there, which cost money and everything else. The other thing there, you see here, trying to move in. Don't move out too much with your locusts like that. You want them covered, otherwise this happens. And those ODCs, oh, he used sprint there. Nice. 0.3 movement speed and 20% evasion. Maybe that's how he's getting these are traded so well, because he keeps using sprint. Because no one else ever uses sprint here. Great spread on that. Did you see that? Did you see those smacks there? Just shredded that. Now, great Krono and the Navy's here finally, right? And I'm dropping in, and I wasn't quite sure how I'd trade here, but so everything dropped in here with energy swords. Let me see here. Great micro there. Look at that stutter step. But as it is, once the elites started using plasma rifles instead of the swords, it was a really good trade. And then he comes in here with this too. So this was a great pick here. Oh, those are mine. I just happened to bring them down with me. They're going to pick off the prowlers, and you see here, he's doing a great job kiting, but it's just not enough. I was complimenting here because I was watching him play. I was like, those are some great use there. I was impressed by how they were used. And this is also another thing too. He's relying on his production here. He's looking at this and he's like, I can try to outproduce that because I have so many buildings. And this is a barracks. Barracks are so tanky that they give you the chance to get some more units out. Look, you got a couple more units out as I was trying to kill the barracks. Now, it wasn't enough, but maybe he's trying to trade a little bit better there or other things too. That's the thing you'll see in normal Starcraft. They'll be like, well, I'm being attacked, but I can still produce. And that's a diamond kind of master thing because sometimes you can pull through that. This he mentioned, and I'm not sure what he meant there. But anyways. Now he's gotten some defensive. This is also a really good move here. Ooh. So he came here dropping Spartan 3s. I'm like, okay, I don't want to lose these units, so I picked up them left. But if you notice, they aren't really trying to rebuild, which is great. I always put in SCVs. He is good. So this is kind of a cool move. I like him. He's kept the units on every planet. I don't know how he managed to afford that, but he's kept units on every single planet to further, I think, defense forces. Whenever I was, he built units. And that was all Krono, and I was dropping him the whole time. Because he scanned him to see, oh, okay, so the new production, what is he making now? He's making 4 heavy cruisers. Heavy cruiser. That's a new build. I think Canada's experimenting with some new builds, because I've never seen that used. He's probably derping out in the corner, you might want to grab him. Looks like he's got some Kodiaks in here. That's an interesting build. Kodiak, Goshawk, and then he's switching to these ones. It could be interesting. Goshawk's main thing is their damage, right? And their speed. And they're Goshawk, so they're also a little armored because they're Warthog. But they don't work that well. Anyways, and that's so especially against short rods, they can be. There's time I can get you some clips where they really are effective, but it's a little risky and they're easy to counter. And that tells you just now that Onyx became visible. It tells you how the rate facing the game was. This is an interesting build. People started using Corvettes to screen, and it's actually working out pretty well. It's kind of funny because SCD would never have done that, and he was the one who set the metas. But oh, good escape there. Try to get a pick on it. I'm curious to see if Corvettes would have actually been effective against this build. As it is, I'm kind of grateful having said that, because otherwise I would have been tempted to try to jump in there and do it. Now, these are wonderful. I think they were just built to prevent that kind of a drop, which was a great dealer. So as it was, because he was worried about that, one, I was trying to be nicer because I didn't want to try to raffle stop him, but two, to be honest, that could have been a bait, trying to bait me in there. You see, oh, I should back that up for that clip. I don't need to, but for my own clips, I guess I should back up and see Krono, what Krono's talking about too. So he was talking about, like, one, I didn't want to be a jerk, because I've been on the receiver and it was so fun, so I don't want to do that. Second, I was like, well, I can help here, and if I hadn't, these Spartans would have just cleaned this up. As it was, since I had kept the units alive, I had even more units because they're still producing. So I've been trading well and keeping my units alive, retaining them. So because of that, we were able to just drop and totally decimate those Spartans, no worries. It was just too much stuff for that. Now, those lone Spartans could have totally cleaned up that Brute's Ball on their own. There was no Wraith there, and I don't think there was enough Jackals, and no Ghosts. The reason I mentioned Ghosts are effective because I'm surprised somebody didn't come with strength over here to get he's picked up a defensive posture. Usually he'd be over here on top of me, sniping me before I left, which would have been a huge blow. Because I'm kind of trying to keep up on it here. But I mentioned the Ghosts there. They do, on a horde of Ghosts, it's an extra threat, layer of threat. Because if the Ghosts aren't being attacked, they're scared. If you notice there, so I scanned here looking to grab Arcadia. I was like, is it Arcadia or Orbit Clear? And I just happened to catch these in Brute. It was the stranger thing. I'm like, hey, I pinged. It was like, hey, pick off those units, and so Navy jumped right on it. And again, the scans of this game were just money. Don't ask me why they were so stellar, but they were. So we were checking a look at Reach, and I don't know where he's heading here with those. Oh, he blinked over to Reach. Good job, I guess. Looks like Will's taking a look here at the Navy, and I like this composition. It's working out pretty well. Meanwhile, so we were talking, and it said well, Reach isn't viable, so we went and hit We went hit Arcadia while we were waiting. There's nothing here. And once you take out these buildings, you're reducing the possibility of a response, especially since Navy's in orbit there. And since I don't actually know how things are playing out. Doing well here. We're grabbing that up. Everything you notice there, I just pinged it. And oh, hang on, pause. There it is. I noticed this fleet here, and he gets a great. Oh, that is a money pick. Even though he's in. Oh, look at that. He's practically in orbital reach. The reach of that gun reach to harvest almost. That's some interstellar rack range there, but it's pretty cool to think about. Oh no, really? Oh, yes, the MVP of this game. Look at that. He got 2 picks. He picked the Army and the Oni at the same time. Let me back that up real quick, because that regards that I think might even go into a Navy montage. Krono might have earned himself something with this one. Maybe I'm a little bit more prone to make it because I was on his team, so I should consider that. So let's put it up here to everyone. Yeah, see, those are full. Okay, Krono. Camera. Gets that one. Oh, look at that. Extends there. And here's the thing. He's just coming back. He's like, okay, I'll protect Arcadia now. That's just a sense. He didn't scan. He didn't see anything. And then he does right there on the minimap. You see? It's just... It shreds what's down there. Let's back it up one more time to see it from Oni's perspective. This is one of the games where, I mean, you play well, right? But it's just everything went in your favor. This is like the first game I ever cast. So I was watching that. He blinked into the corner there, which is interesting, trying to keep it alive. Okay, it's not much there. It's actually a lot of. He just came with everything. Looks like what he has, which is Spartan 2s, which is the first thing that went down. Oh no! I don't know if it was just luck. I think it was just luck. And all he has are a couple Kodiaks. Oh, that's rough. Oof. Well, that's unfortunate there, but he's going to use what he's got here, trying to get a good trade, I guess. We realize what I'm going to do is just Kodiaks here. Yeah, and he calls it there because he's like, we've lost a planet, and then Hevig leaves there because they've lost another planet. That's what it comes down to in some games. If you win the first planet, it's like, okay, can we capitalize on the fact there's a window there once you've lost harvest? Once you've lost harvest, there's a window there to say, how long do we have until... Let's follow sugar here for a bit. How much do we talk about? Oh, look at that. Is they getting upgrades? I can't remember if I was getting upgrades or not in this game. I think it was. What was I talking about? Oh, alright. The kind of the play that plays out. It kind of comes down to... There's a window of opportunity. Once you take harvest, there's a chance that you can try to capitalize and take another planet to equalize, right? Here I was asking him to make the call where we hit next, and we kind of said Earth. And it's like, yeah, that works. Because we looked at Reach, and like, Reach is not an option. It's covered in Mac guns. You don't want to take those losses. And that's the problem with Mac guns. They are a money stick. They're great at picking off stealth corvettes in orbit. But one, they can be picked off by a good Navy. And two... You know, I'm dropping down the planet. And two, what was it talking about? Stealth rockets? Oh, back end. And two, it leaves yourself open, so your Navy can't go try to pressure anywhere else. It just won't work out that way. But there we are. Right here, I'm doing a drop. He said that, first of all, Krono was the one who won this game, in my opinion. He was the one who got all the picks on the Navy, all of the transports, and he was the one here. This wouldn't have been technical at all. It would have been behind if it hadn't been for this guy. And two, I like to say, sorry, that position's already taken. No, that position's already taken. I'm just me. I'm just a guy who plays video games. But it was a lot of fun. I honestly think Krono's the one who did all the work here. Like, and I started to see all these you see there are the scorpions. Like I don't have a counter for that. And he comes in, just glasses it all. Just like Okay, let's look at. I want to look at the units lost or the units killed tab. Is that an option here? Afterwards, I want to look at the upgrades protection active forces, which is EPM. Huh. I have no idea what that is. Is that like APM? Effective action per minute, right? So I dropped there, didn't even like. Oh, he comes right back down again and picks off all these powers. So good. Awesome. Stellar plays there. But we need it, yeah. That's just needs to be done there. So, okay, so I'm running at. You look at the APM here. This is the guy that's diamond right up here with the 92 action per minute. I'm sitting here with my little 60. Uh, anyways, that was super well done by this whole game. I didn't expect these or anything else. I don't think okay, I just did get it, but for a while I didn't even have that. They were just there to be some extra stuff. So they got a navy here now. You grab Krono, or Hemig's navy. Tons of frigates, super heavy cruisers. Yeah, that's looking a little scarier now. He bought some time there. However, since Oni wasn't able to clean up with me, that's when the snowball started. And what you want to do is only to clean up a bunch of light brutes like that, or light elite. What you want is Spartan 2s, shotgun snipers, even some ARs, depending on the situation. You got to deal with it. Now there we go. And there's the engagement. His frigates aren't there to screen, and the rest is down. He tries to get him in there. Could use a boost though. He's got a good eye for these for the abilities there. As it is, and these carriers and handful and the corvettes did their work to make sure the carriers were able to keep shooting there. And then he left before we could pick off things. So that game was all like I want to look at the I wish there was a units lost. Yeah, he lost every. He lost immense amounts of resources. I wish there was a button for like upgrades, productions, active forces. They're not it. I guess I want to see the after game statistics, and I can't find them. But this game was Krono's game. I was just along for the ride. He did the glassing. He picked off so many. That move at the beginning when he supported. First of all, he found the right one because he knew where I was going to drop. I was going to blind drop. Mind you, I wasn't even going to scan, which you should always do. I was going to blind drop up here because that's just where Hemig had been building for a while. And then I didn't even know he had built down here, so that would have been a huge blunder. I could have picked up, re-entered, and landed here if I found it or something else. But to be honest, if I didn't scan, and I probably wasn't, I was in the mood, I wasn't doing that, I would have just come up here to try to drop, and this production would have gone uncontested. So it was from the beginning. He was behind. I made the call, which I wouldn't have done, to sit and help brutes. Again, in that mood, I wouldn't have done it because Hemig had said, "Hey, don't if I drop him, I'm going to rage quit." So I was like, first of all, I don't want him to rage quit. Second of all, I wasn't. As I started to help, I thought, that might have been also could have been a bait because if you jump in there, it's like you might lose everything. But as it is, that worked out pretty well. Before the big ring was even revealed. So. Yeah, I guess one thing, lessons learned for the game. Mostly, I just wanted to give some shout out there to Krono. That was a crazy effective naval game. Sometimes things just fire, things are just clicking. But he knew, he played well. He knew where his opponent would be. He scanned it, and I just kind of he helped and supported his team tremendously. He took the best opportunities, like a dozen, 40 scorpions. He was on top of it in an instance, glassing it. He's like, a ton of whatever, a ton of self-threats. He was always there, keeping on. What can I do? What can I do? Some players, they like to withdraw within themselves and just kind of sit there and make their thing for 20 minutes and then coming out, which might be great for something like Magic, and a lot of other card games, or even other types of Starcraft games too. But that's kind of the place I imagine with that kind of thing, where it's very long, drawn out, you build up, and eventually you get your really nice, strong thing, and you go. That's the power of being active throughout the game. Kind of we see it with Krono. Back it up here real quick, where he was supporting his team. Let's watch it from his perspective real quick. Camera. So speed it up. Looks like he's making some hidden production, but he's using what he has immediately. I love that build. He's spamming out some self-revets for the scans, and he's checking to see. So he's looking. Oh, look at that! So for the first scan, he's looking at all the places it could have been. Then he scans there. That's where I was going to head. That's one of Henrik's favorite places. It's right up in that corner. But I was at this point, I wasn't looking at the map. I wasn't following it, which was just something you should always do. I found it very effective. Check with your other vision, because you don't need to be staring at your unit as it makes stuff. So have it on a hotkey, spam the units, and then just click around and see what's going on the map, right? As your units are making, and once they're ready, you go hit. So he's scanning down here for this production. This is the one, and this happens to be, look at it. I see it when I was jumping. I was already jumping. I was coming to the Earth because I assumed it was in the top corner there. So he had scanned 10 other places before, and he just happened to be scanning when I got into orbit. So he'd already scanned 10 places, and he, since buildings stay in the menu, I would have seen, oh, there's a blob of units over there. But I happened to already be paying attention to Earth because I was headed there. So it was stellar. Amazing that it worked out that way. Yeah, and he's got his own hidden production here, which is again pretty common. You could build, and this is kind of a cool thing. You have a gateway on every single planet, and the idea, I think, with Orion's original idea there was to say, well, we'll make it so that if you get picked off, you can rebuild on a new planet, right? But it also has the double possibility here of saying that. Now he sees that, he says, oh, he's getting picked off, and so he blinks on over, and I realized I can't win that fight against that many prowlers, which are Henrik's prowlers. Which was a great move by Henrik. He jumped in there like that. And he comes in. Cloak stealths them, so he can't see him in orbit. Oh, that's such a good move. So you didn't know they were coming. Ooh, that is something else. So he blinked in out of orbit, cloaked into orbit, and landed, so that you couldn't even see him coming unless you were scanning for it. I was asking for a lift there, and then he just kind of gave them to me. I was hoping he would just, which was a great move. You're like, okay, I don't have to micro this and that, or try to deal with it. So he just handed me 2 units. Crazy objective. I really, really want to praise that. Just make it realize. Now, there's still 4 prowlers here, so he went to orbit, which was super good. I don't know if that was a bait or not, but it worked out because they were like, they're going to try to jump in on me here, trying to pick off my units as they flew by. Again, Krono was the one who did all that. I know there was stealth corvettes, but they weren't my stealth corvettes. They were Krono stealth corvettes. They did all that. Anyways, he's scanning, check to see production. He sees, oh, he's making something. No, I've never learned that. But that's something where you can look at the timings and say, okay, it's 5 minutes. Income is 30 minerals or whatever, 90 minerals or 80, something like in the middle of 50 per second. So that would be, you'd have so many minerals, which means you could only afford, if you only see one active, he's either very foolish or he's really bad. Anyways, I really kind of loved how the action worked in this match too. It worked consistently through all that. But I hope you guys enjoyed that game. It was enjoyable. I felt like it worked out well, and I hope those lessons learned they're good for you. Huge shout out to Krono for this game. He played awesome. So we'll see you guys around, and I hope you enjoyed it.